Writing. The hardest part is getting past the blinking cursor. Hardest part is getting past the blinking cursor. The hardest part is getting past the tired blinking and cursing the ers. The hardest part is getting past thoughts and stories of me's, hims, and hers. Write stories of me's, hims, and hers. Write stories of meanings, trends, and words. Words. Frustrations, expectations, restrictions, obligations, incapacitations, miscommunications. Dramatic words for shallow declamations. It has always been an exhausting task telling a story. Remembering a story to tell, rather. I love listening to stories, frequently told I'm quite a listener, that I'm a quiet listener. That always bothered my mom. She herself is a talker and expects responses, words, as opposed to me just acting like a punctuation mark, as in exclaiming or questioning whatever words she pours out for me. I'm trying to think of a specific scenario, but I can't seem to remember another thing that pushes their buttons. Forgetfulness. Irresponsibility, cracking my knuckles, lack of punctuality, indifference, the Jordanian dialect, negativity, food that isn't salty. Salt. I love salt. Not the way it tastes, but the idea that it's associated within my head. It would be us, my family and I, sitting around our kitchen table, the room devoid of words, nothing but the sounds of the oscillating blades of the fan and the scraping of forks and spoons against our plates, only for the silence to be penetrated then obliterated with, "Mom, the pasta tastes amazing, but needs a tad bit more salt." Then, the staring contest with our plates comes to a halt. Our heads are lifted and our eyes are averted to direction from where the sound is projected. Usually the right side, in the place my brother always occupies. I can't remember if I was ever able to taste salt as a kid, because I'm sure numb to it now. To me, salt isn't food anymore. It's an idea, an adjective. Salt is a supplier. Selfless, self-accepting, sincere, grateful. Just sitting on every counter, snacks every other hour, then set aside once things have been seasoned for an enlivened devour. Salt doesn't demand a dish to be dedicated to its name. It's a pretzel, not a salty biscuit. They're French fries, not lean potatoes and salt. And even original Lay's chips, salt-flavored, are called classic, not salty. Table salt is neutral. It has an equal charge of both positive and negative, making it not too driven by any of its irrational energies. Salt dries out your throat and dampens your eyes, as it makes your vulnerability surface and has gratitude trickle right by it after you've quenched your thirst and rinsed away your frailty. Salt is down to earth, the lowest point on earth. Salt is white, privileged, and absolutely better than every single person in this room. Just kidding. Just felt like raising your blood pressure there since we are talking about salt. Anyway, being salt is at one end of the spectrum, while being pasta is on the other. Pasta is a demander. I think you get the idea here. Pasta is everything salt isn't. One way or another, pasta always seems to end up in hot water. Pasta needs constant seasoning and can't stand being left on the counter. It needs constant reassurance. It needs to be incorporated in every dish. There's not one kind of pasta, not two, not seven, but 350 of the same flippin' thing. Long pasta, tube pasta, soup pasta, stuffed pasta, special shaped pasta. Pasta is everywhere and fails to accept the idea that true success isn't being liked by everyone, but rather by appealing to oneself and their own ideas of self-actualization. Pasta is that person that would be actively seeking its fish when it's been told there are plenty of fish in the sea, and then has its dreams shattered when it's paired with white sauce and some chicken. Well, for one, fish are dying out at a relatively quick rate, so there may not be a fish for everyone. And two, I don't think fish and pasta would be complementary anyway. And three, I don't even like fish to begin with, and that should be okay. I've tried salmon, I've tried tuna, I've tried sushi, I've tried fish fingers, I've tried it in salad, soup, sandwich with lemon, with cheese, with white sauce, with red sauce, with no sauce, and none of them were fit for me. And that should be okay. That is okay. Your fish doesn't have to be a fish. Sometimes you should just reel the bait back, put the fishing rod aside, watch the sun go down, row yourself back home, and indulge in a big bag of flaming hot Cheetos. The arbitrary but surprisingly prevalent consensus on the idea that to be happy you mustn't be sad drives me nuts. Not cashew kind of nuts, but can shoot you in the face if I had a water gun kind of nuts. The absence of happiness does not equal sadness, just as the lack of punctuality does not mean lack of motivation. Indifference does not mean apathy. Cracking my knuckles does not mean anxiety. And the absence of words coming out of my face does not mean lack of thinking and creativity, Mom. As the oscillating blades of the fan seemed quieter, and the scraping of forks and spoons against plates was replaced with joyful banter, and the words in my head kept getting weirder and louder, I giggled as I thought to myself, everyone peels their bananas differently, and happiness to you may not be happiness to me.